Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to Cube Ramblings. That is what I am calling this series now. I have decided to rebrand it, given that it's not really a Let's Play series anymore. It's more of a podcast than anything else now. And there's a few things that have prompted this, but and I'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, from now on out, from here on out, I'm gonna call this Cube Ramblings. It will still always be on Sundays, and I may slip up from time to time and say Sunday Ramblings in Cube World, but that will be a thing as well. And what really what prompted this obviously is, I've been thinking about it, and yes, this is more of a podcast than an LP right now. What I'm doing and playing in Cube World here is really just a background. There isn't much more for me to say about Cube World at this point. I will still make comments as I go along, and talk about what I'm actually trying to do and things like that. But as they have been, in previous episodes here, it'll be few and far between. It's really a chance for me to just sit down and chat and just talk about all the things that I, have been following and all the news that's been going on. And apologies to those watching the video as opposed to listening to it. I've been having for some reason, Cube World's been acting up a little bit today. This is actually the third time I've tried recording this, and the last two times, I actually rebooted just before doing this. The last two times, the lag was so bad that it just wasn't, the game stopped responding, and I don't know why. Every so often it does this. It just misbehaves. So hopefully, as this continues, or as I continue recording here, hopefully it will clear up for you guys if you are watching. And if you're not, if it's just a podcast for you, then congratulations. Just sit back and relax and listen to my stylings. So one of the main reasons that sort of prompted this was that I started to, there's a new service out there, internet service out there, that is has just gone into beta, just open beta. It's called Game Wisp. I'll leave a link to it. But essentially, it's aiming to be basically YouTube, but with specifically with LPing in mind. In other words, it's a giant game database, and then on top of that, you have the actual channels. And so when you want to search for something, you search by the game, and then you see all the relevant results there. Right now, it's just a mirroring service at this point, a link dump, if you will. I have, I've linked it to my YouTube channel, and I've got most of my videos over there. In fact, I've pretty much gotten everything that I want over there, as far as videos go. So the process for me is it's twofold now. One is I get everything ready to go, and I have it uploaded to YouTube. Well, threefold if you really dig in deeper. One is I get everything uploaded, get it rendered, get it up onto YouTube. Then I go and edit the annotations on the end slate so that they're all linked up to where they need to be, to whatever episodes I want to link them up to. And then after I publish the video, I have to wait about an hour or so, and then it becomes available through the Google API, the Yoo-hoo, wow. YouTube, the YouTube API. I was just watching the Minecraft podcast, so somehow I got Yoo-hoo in my mind here. It gets it becomes available in the YouTube API, and then I'm able to mirror it over on GameWisp. So I am Memory Leak Death over there as well. I believe I just got a tweet from them earlier saying that they'll be getting vanity URLs pretty soon. So hopefully I'll be able to link my YouTube channel to it and leave a link maybe even in this description. We'll see if it comes out before I release this to it, because right now you're just a number at this point. It's just a channel number. So that's cool. I like the interface over there. It's clean. It's to the point. There's still a lot of clicking you gotta do to, as a content creator, to get things in the series and organize and stuff. And there's a little bit of that back and forth that you have to do, sort of. They don't have all the navigation set up right yet. But again, it's beta, so it's for a beta, it's actually pretty good. It's a little bit slow. They're having performance issues, but they had a larger turnout than they really anticipated. So it's to be expected, and they're ramping things up, and they've been fixing bugs pretty quickly. So I'm impressed by what I see, and I'm hoping that is a thing. One of the things over there, and I've been keeping an eye on some of these competing video sites of YouTube. There's another one that's in development called BitVid that I've been kind of following a little bit, but I haven't really dug into it. I haven't signed up for it because they're not quite where I would. They don't quite have the idea yet that meshes with how I do YouTube. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm skirting around the whole thing of monetization, right? So on YouTube, I do not monetize my channel. It's not monetized at all. There should not be any ads on anything. I just don't. It's not even enabled. And I do that for two reasons. One, I'm so small right now that monetizing it wouldn't even give me anything worth anything, right? I just don't get the kinds of views that would be worth it. And two is that things get complicated when money starts changing hands. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's easy for me to say, look, I'm just a fan, and I'm just uploading these videos, these LPs, because I'm a fan of what you're doing, and I enjoy it. And it's easy for me to continue to say that because I collect no money off of it. In fact, I'm in the red if you were to talk about equipment and everything else I bought to do this stuff. So that kind of protects me. I don't have to be very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have to do much. I don't have to manage it much. I can just kind of do my thing, and then everything's usually pretty cool, pretty copacetic. When you go into monetization stuff, things get a little bit more painful, because first of all, you have to make sure you've got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. You have to make sure you got permission from the dev, and sometimes that can be hard to come by, especially when you're a small channel. And there's also the random checks that YouTube does, and it can be a bit of a pain. The thing that has kind of kept me away from sort of being gung-ho about BitVid and jumping on there and trying to sign up and get ready to go with that is that they seem to be focused entirely on people who are monetizing their videos. It sounds like that's really their main focus and their main target. And those of us who do it for free are kind of, they're kind of not looking for us, which makes sense to a certain extent because, a small startup like that's going to need money for servers and everything else, and money to continue and operate and all that thing. So it makes sense that they would focus on the monetization aspect of it. But with this Game Wisp thing, everything that I've put over there is still free. They do have a monetization ability. I don't think it actually works yet, but it's something that they intend to introduce. And it takes more of the Twitch TV approach to things, where you don't, Twitch TV, you do get ads and stuff. But with this one, from what I understand, you won't get ads unless they're ads that are served through YouTube. So let me take a step back and go. All these videos that are showing up on GameWisp are just the YouTube embedded videos. So if a Let's Player puts something up on there and they're a monetized channel, their video is monetized, you'll see all their ads that would have been shown if you had watched it through YouTube, right? So what BitVid's doing then is, because since they don't have their own player, they're using the YouTube player, there's the concept of subscribing to somebody. What are they calling it? Premium, like a premium registration. And for that, it's pretty much up to the content creator as to how they're going to do that. I believe the two methods they have now are, well, it's really, there's only one method, and that is you mark a video as premium content. But the idea is that for those people who subscribe to you, and you set, as the content creator, you set what amount that would be. I think a minimum of $2 and then upwards from there. And then the idea is that someone would subscribe to you, and then they would gain access to videos, say, early. Say you would, say I would upload 2 videos of, or 2 episodes of Live Craft Mine, say, just off the top of my head. And I would release one as free and as public. And then I would, the second one would be for the next week after that. But I would set it instead as premium and say, look, this, for 1 week, this thing is a premium, is accessible to premium subscribers, and they would be able to see it right away. So they'd be able to get like 2 episodes in a row potentially, you know, if you did it that way. I don't have any plans to do that yet, but I am intrigued. I am intrigued by that. That may be something I do, but if it is something I do, it'll be something in the future after I figure out how to actually publicize my channel to a point where I have people watching the stuff that I do. So that is where I stand with that. That's what I'm doing there. I really did it now just to get on board early and to see what's going on, and also to maybe get my videos out there before the whole flood of people come in, if there will be a flood of people that come in. It depends on how popular the site becomes, really. So, because quite a few of the series that I've put up there I was like the first one putting videos up of them. So, that was my whole goal in the first place, right? Just get out there and get some kind of exposure. And speaking of exposure, I have also, this has been the week of experimentation for me. I'm experimenting with quite a few things. Number one, becoming a little bit more active on Twitter. I was not very active before. I'm trying not to be overly active, because there are a few Twitter accounts that I follow that are, tweeting about 25 to 30 times a day. I won't do that. That's a bit excessive. I don't need to be that particularly chatty. But I am trying to be a little bit more active on it. I'm trying to, when I do these side quests videos of indie games, I'm trying to find the indie devs on Twitter and let them know that I'm doing stuff. Let them know that I've posted a video up of it, if they're available, if they have Twitter accounts. I do follow quite a few of them just to get, the straight dirt on things. So I am being a little bit more active on that. So you can find me, if you want, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/memoryleakdeath. I tend to keep everything very uniform so that I can be found. And also, on top of that, I am looking to start doing some live streaming. Now I have my Twitch account. I've had my Twitch account for a while actually. I'm just starting to to actually flesh it out, not get followers, but start following people. I just started looking into moderation bots a little bit earlier today. I might the Nightbot thing looks rather interesting, so I might employ that. Not that I'd really need it right away, but it is something that I might as well put in place immediately, and then I don't have to think about it later on. So I have OBS. I've used OBS actually to record the browser-based games that I've played, like Conclave was the main one, and there's a few others I've been looking at that I would record with OBS. Just because Fraps and DxTory don't work so well with the browser, even though the browser uses 3D acceleration nowadays. Modern browsers do. They're not very. Their frame rate is rather low because they don't refresh often. The pages don't refresh often. So DxTory and Fraps give you something that isn't very complete. It's very choppy and doesn't. You maybe get 1 frame per second, and that frame stays there for 2 minutes while you're sitting on the screen. So I've used OBS in those cases, since that records your screen and keeps a decent frame rate. So I already have that installed, and I sort of know how it works. But I have to go through there's a whole wiki article on Twitch on how to actually set it up with the proper settings for Twitch. So I have to go through that and do all that stuff. Get the moderation bot on there, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to live stream. My initial thought was, first of all, I need to do a test stream, just to make sure everything's working out all right. My initial thought was to live stream some of the off-camera work I normally do on the Livecraft Mine server. And I might do that from time to time. That's sort of like the easy road, right? That's like the crutch that you see a lot of YouTubers do, right? Especially ones that play Minecraft. They'll go and do all this stuff in a live stream, and then they'll double dip, right? They'll have all the subscribers on Twitch, that they're getting money off of, and then they'll post it up on YouTube and have it monetized, and maybe not even chop it up very well. They might only chop it up into hour segments, and it's understandable because there's a lot of grindy stuff you still have to do in Minecraft and a lot of these sandbox games. But I want to try something perhaps a little bit different. My initial thought here, and this is all stuff that this is all subject to change if with the winds, with the shifting sands. My initial thought was that I would do like a classic game and just play through that on the stream, not recording the stream or anything like that. It'll just be a straight live stream. You either see it or you don't see it. Because when you get into some of these classic games, you get into like these copyright issues and all that stuff, and I figure if I just do a straight live stream without recording it, I'd probably be the safest bet that I can do. Because my thought is that I would start out by live streaming the Deus Ex trilogy. Now, I have the original Deus Ex. I have it installed, I believe, on here. I have to check to see what state it's in. It's been a while since I've looked at it. But I believe I also had it installed with the HD texture pack, which is pretty cool. I'd like to play it with that on there. So I'm thinking of playing that through on a live stream. Not all the way through not all the way through in one setting, but it'll be something that I do. Maybe I'll integrate live streaming into my schedule so I get used to it. So maybe I don't know, Sundays or Saturdays, whatever it might be. At some time, I'll pick some time. I'll say, look, I'm going to stream for 2 hours or whatever, and it's going to be Deus Ex until I finish Deus Ex. And then I will move on to Deus Ex Invisible War, which I have the CDs for lying around here somewhere. So I have to get that reinstalled. And then my hope is that once I get through all of that, that I can then dig into Deus Ex Human Revolution, which I pre-ordered that, and I have the CD it's been lying here on my desk for, I guess, a year now, 2 years. I mean, how old is it since it came out? I mean, I pre-ordered the thing and it's still been lying on my desk here. I've played, I think, 10 minutes of it, 20 minutes of it. My intention was to record that stuff for YouTube. And in fact, that was the first thing I've ever tried to record. But I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't at that point yet. You know, I needed something else to sink my teeth into before I could do that. Something that was a little bit more comfortable, which is why I did the Cube World stuff here. Was my first videos that went out, and Minecraft was my first real Minecraft Plus. That is, was the first real series that I started recording and with the intention of editing it and getting everything out there. So I would like to revisit. I would like to get through Deus Ex Human Revolution, longer than 20 minutes into it, and play that through, and then after that we'll see what direction I want to go with the live streaming stuff, and maybe along the way I'll do extra stuff. Maybe I'll do some of the off-camera work I'd normally do on Livecraft Mine, or even in Starbound. I know that I haven't had Starbound out for the last 2 weeks. My excuse was that the Livecraft Mine Starbound server hadn't been updated, and honestly, this week I didn't even check. However, something just came through on Reddit that regarding Starbound that intrigued me greatly. A certain Starbound multiplayer server, and I'm intrigued enough that I'm going to go check that out, and I might end up going over there and recording from there. We'll see. It's a whitelisted server. It's a role-playing server, which I've never been on any kind of role-playing server before. So I have to really look at it and see if it's something that I would enjoy doing, because I don't want to get into that pattern where I start something and then I end up ditching it, right? That being said, that would probably be Starbound would probably be something like that I would do every other week. And I've mentioned this a few times before, but it's really difficult to do 2 long form sandbox games at the same time, because there's a lot of resource gathering and everything else that you have to do along the way, and people don't usually like to see that resource gathering, hence the live streaming ability here. I might do some of that on a live stream instead of doing it on YouTube, and then just showing some of the results of it, maybe doing some of it on YouTube, who knows. It would probably be every other week, if even that, and it would probably be on the weekend, because right now my schedule is full as far as videos go during the week. I have 1 video a day going up now. The weekend is really the point where I could afford to do more than 1 video, because I want to spread them out, and say, okay, here's, I'll do my normal video in the morning, and then have one, maybe at nighttime. And that's the only time that I can really spread those things out. I can't do it during the week because I'm at work. So it's just, that's why things go out at 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern time at nighttime, because that's when I get home, and that's when I've had a chance to actually eat something and then get my brain wrapped around what I needed to do and what needed to get out. So yeah, that is on my list of things to look at. That is, that's sort of some of the self I don't know what you would call it, exploration that I've been doing this week. There's also, in addition to that, again, I'm experimenting with a lot of stuff right now. I have started up a subreddit on Reddit. It's our memory leak death right now. There's nothing really on it yet. I haven't. I'm not familiar with how to run a subreddit, so I'm sort of learning it as I go. And what I'm doing is I'm actually just posting links to my videos on YouTube up there. So every time I upload a video starting from yesterday, every time I upload a video, I'm putting it up there. My intention is to eventually put additional posts up there. Just random things like indie games I'm looking at, other random things that I'd like to just have up there. I want to, at some point, I have to really gather together the whole list of games that I've been looking at. And what I want to do is actually put that up as a Google Doc, maybe probably a spreadsheet, which I hate putting laundry lists in spreadsheets, but they do lend themselves well to it. So I want to maybe get that together and probably make that a post on Reddit and probably tweet it out too. Why not? And just so people can see stuff that I'm looking at and what I'm trying to follow. And it's more for me, but I figure, why not make that public so that others can see the kinds of things that I'm tracking? Because I realized the other day, I was looking at my desktop here. I downloaded a certain alpha that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And I noticed on my desktop that my desktop is almost full of icons right now. And most of them are all indie games that aren't on Steam or Desura. They're just download this, download that, So I have to, given that, I have a lot of things on my plate that I need to revisit. And so I really want to get the spreadsheet together so that I can remember, hey, yeah, I got to go check up on this. It's been a while since I got a last update from this thing and that thing, So that's yet another thing that I have on my plate there, along with the subreddit, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. It was mostly me just saying, you know what, let me reserve this name so no one else takes it, and let me just put some videos up there. I've seen some other YouTubers have done that. Some of the smaller ones do that. So I figured, why not? Let's just do it. Let's just do a whole social media blitz here. I still haven't decided if I'm going to do the Facebook thing, because I really, really, really dislike Facebook. I really do. In fact, I even gave up my Facebook account because I just couldn't deal with it. All the damn spam from play crack wars or whatever the hell it was, drug wars, or I don't even, mafia wars. That's what it was. Oh God, please no. I don't want any more of that. I don't want that in my life anymore. But I might do it. We'll see. I might make a Facebook page. I don't even know how to do it anymore. I'm just getting old. Everything's difficult. So those are the experiments and explorations I've been doing this week. It's been very, very busy on that front. Also, I jumped on, I don't know, were they? I think they were live streaming at the time. Burnt Toast Jay and Rum All Round from the Livecraft Mine server. I happen to be on there just doing some random stuff just to prep for my next episode. And they jumped on together and said, hey, let's jump in a call and just have a little tour. So I took a tour around with them. I was in a Skype call with them. I actually did get, I missed it. I got an invite from Burnt Toast earlier today to jump on another Skype call. He was doing a live stream, and I just got a notification that he was on a live stream again. I completely missed it, and to be honest, I had to run out. There's a snowstorm about to come, and I need to get all the supplies before there's a big mad rush for everything, you know, food and all that stuff. So, and it's been over a month and a half since I've had a haircut, so I need to do that too, because it just gets to a point where I'm like, you know what, I can't do anything with my hair anymore, and I look terrible. I need this cut. So yeah, unfortunately, and I missed it because I was watching Flobathon. Some of it I didn't catch all of it, but I did catch a portion of it in the morning, and then again at nighttime here, which is why I sort of delayed the recording of this a little bit. This actually is the normal time that I'd be recording. It's what, 9:15 at night for me. So this is about the normal time that I'd be recording. By the way, it's Saturday, March 1st. I didn't even say that in the beginning, in the beginning of the episode, like I normally do. Oopsie. For me anyway. So I was watching that a little bit too, so I missed the message coming in. I was on my other computer. So yeah, hopefully I will get more involved with that and get some more, maybe not necessarily collabs, but at least you know, talking with people and conversing. I don't know that I do any maps or anything like that with them, because I just don't necessarily have the time for it. I do and I don't. It's a difficult thing for me. You know, like I want to start the whole live streaming thing, but at the same time I've got 7 series going on, and I have a little bit of a backlog, not a lot, not enough to really to feel comfortable taking whole days off to do other things, which is something I need to rectify soon, because I do want to do some of that stuff. So it will be it is something I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to do some of the networking stuff. You know, it's just taken me a while to sort of warm up to the idea that I can do this. You know what I mean? Everybody starts out YouTube and they're like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I started out YouTube like, I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep this up. I have no idea what's going to come of this. I know it's going to be a long, hard road. I know there's going to be, you know, a whole lot of things I need to do that I may not have the time to do, and so I've come from the sort of cautionary area of it to being like, well, okay, I've been doing this for what? Doing this since July of last year, so I'm not even going to do the math. The hell with it. It's probably like 7 months or so, we'll say. 8 months, actually, probably. And I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable. I'm not entirely there yet, but I'm getting there. And it's, you know, it's slow but sure progress. And I was actually talking to them about that, a little bit about that too. It's like, we made note of the fact that most live streams now have face cams. I'm like, I ain't doing no face cam. You ain't getting no face cam out of me. I ain't got the face for it. But along the way as well, I jokingly told them that I have the problem now. When I first started out, my problem was, how the hell am I going to make a 15-minute video? There's no way that I have that much to talk about, right? Because I'm a relatively, believe it or not, quiet person in real life. I don't say much. I don't have much to say, to be honest. Even on YouTube, I don't have much to say. Much of substance, I should say, to say. But when I started out, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to do 15-minute videos. I need to do 15-minute videos, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. And then I'm now about 8 months into it. I'm like, there's no way in hell I can do a 25-minute video. I can only do hours and hours of talking, but I can't do 25 minutes. How am I going to edit this down to 25 minutes? And you'll see that I've been struggling with that, even with Livecraft Mine. Like that series, I meant for that to be 25-minute videos, and I'm starting to get to that point where it's 25-minute videos. But it's the amount of stuff that I'm cutting out. It sort of pains me from time to time. It really does. It might be to the point where I might do what some of those YouTubers do, and I might actually record the episode as a live stream, and then, but as I'm recording the live stream, also record it locally. We'll see if my computer can handle that, and then just do a normal, do a normal episode out of it, do my normal editing job, but then you would also in a live stream see all the parts that I'm cutting out of it. That might be an interesting thing to try. Because I see a lot of times the streamers, the YouTubers that are popular that do streaming, I see them just upload their videos with no real editing to YouTube. Sometimes they'll do just highlights, but a lot of times they just let Twitch break it up into half-hour episodes or whatever, or hour episodes, and they just do that without any real editing. And that's it's a format that doesn't lend itself so well to YouTube, I feel like. Because on YouTube, people are sort of expecting you to have very little pauses and have a train of thought going and to accomplish something within your video. And on Twitch, it's kind of like, and this is why it's appealing, it's kind of like, nah, you can have quiet times, you can talk about a bunch of things, you can jump around to topics, you can do some grinding and stuff like that while you talk. It's kind of forgivable because people will just jump in and jump off as they get bored, right? Or they'll have you playing in the background tab while they do something else. Whereas YouTube, it's like a different mindset for some reason. So that might be a thing too. I might do it that way. I might do my normal editing job and then have the full breadth of stuff that I cut out in the live stream. And my recent episode's a good example of that, episode 7, where basically while I was making that ceiling, I recorded that whole thing straight through. I had 2 hours of footage. Now, I did 2 episodes, or at least I thought I did. What happened there, and that's generally how I try to do. I try to do 2 episodes at once. That's why I like to jump between builds like that. But it ended up just being 1 episode because when I went over to my barn to check up on it, and try to get it working, I found out that I miscounted, grossly miscounted, and the silo is all out of whack. So I spent the next hour, the first hour was the first video, which ended up being a half an hour once I cut it down. And then the second hour was going to be the second video, which I was going to cut down to a half an hour. But I got so little accomplished in it because I got so flustered by the fact that my silo didn't work and I was trying to fix it, that I just said, yeah, I got to scrap all of this and try again. But there was an entire sequence there. This is what pains me. There's an entire sequence when I was building the ceiling down in the bar, where I was just talking about random stuff, talking about sci-fi and how there's not any real good sci-fi shows on, and the kinds of things that I like about sci-fi and types of sci-fi I like. And I missed that. Like, I edited it all out because, that's sort of what's required for YouTube. But at the same time, I miss being able to just leave that stuff in there. I used to leave it in, which is why my videos were like 45 minutes to an hour. But nobody really wants to watch an hour-long video, especially of Minecraft anymore. So that's sort of the other reason I'm looking at the live streaming stuff too, is because I kind of like having that stuff in there. It gives you personality, right? I mean, there's only so much you can talk about a game that's 5 years old. I mean, it's still being updated, granted, but it's still, at some point, everything that could be said has been said. So that's my long rant. That actually, I did not intend for that rant to be 40 minutes long. I have a bunch of stuff written down here that I wanted to go through. So let's jump over to that and get back into the proper podcast thing here. While we're talking about Minecraft, though, I have 2 items here about that. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I was watching the Flobathon. I waited till the very end before I could record this because I wanted to get the final tally. So first of all, I want to say congrats to Kurt over on Farlands or Bust, the Kurt J. Mac channel on YouTube. They've raised, I believe, very close to $190,000 for this season. His original goal was about $100,000. He's very close. I think it was like 182, if I remember correctly, thousand when I got off the stream there. So I want to say congratulations to him, and I hope for many more, 300 more episodes. That would be awesome. He just did his F3 moment. I'm gonna, if you haven't heard about it yet, I'm about to do a spoiler. If you follow him, he just traveled. He did his F3 and he traveled 1.479 million blocks in Minecraft. So that is awesome. Almost 1.48, almost very very close to it. He was about 60 blocks away from it. So that is quite a monumental feat, and congratulations to him. And I kind of feel, I understand now that I do sort of a podcast like thing in a game in Cube World here. I kind of understand what keeps him going. A lot of people ask, like, how do you just walk in one direction all the time and not get bored of it? And the reality is, when you turn it into a podcast, it's not boring anymore. It's just, you always have something to talk about, almost always, and you actually look forward to it because you get to just have this free-form thing. The game running in the background is just background image. It's just for, it's just some eye candy for you, while you get some pleasurable ear massaging. If you can call my voice pleasurable ear massaging, and that's the fun of it. I mean, that's really the fun of it. I mean, I still enjoy playing Cube World, and I'm sure he still enjoys playing Minecraft. But it's even more enjoyable when you have this, when it becomes a vehicle for something more, right? That's the whole appeal of Let's Playing, right? You turning a game into a vehicle for something more, for fun, even more fun than you would have by yourself, even though you are technically by yourself. I am technically talking to myself right now. So congratulations to him. Also, in the Minecraft news, there was talk of a Minecraft movie potential. There's talks, very, very early talks, so it's not, ain't nothing set in stone, but apparently Mojang has been in the very early initial discussions with Warner Brothers about a potential live-action Minecraft movie. Excuse me 1 minute. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. That is odd. I'm not sure how to take that. If it were an animated film, or if it were done in engine, like in the Minecraft engine, I could see that being a thing. But a live action one sounds a bit corny to me. But again, it's very early discussion, so who the hell knows? It might be just a regular, it might be just an animated film, like a Lego movie type of thing. But on the heels of that, though, it's interesting to read that now, because there was a fan project that was going on Kickstarter that Mojang had to shut down. I believe they shut it down like 2 weeks ago. I've actually had this on my list for the last 2 weeks, so it must have been 2 weeks ago. It was called "Birth of a Man," a Minecraft film, and it was looking for $600,000 on Kickstarter, and of course Mojang put the kibosh on that. I believe the exact words were, "Nobody does a $600,000 movie without getting the rights without at least having some kind of agreement in place." Because apparently they didn't even bother to talk to Mojang, which is not a good idea. I mean, if you're going to do a fan film and you're going to do it on a shoestring budget, which technically $600,000 is a shoestring budget, but I've seen fan films that were done in like $1,000 or $2,000. You know what I mean? And I think if it were just a $2,000 film, I don't think Mojang would have cared, right? But you don't do a fan film for $600,000 without talking to the license holders, because that at that point, you know, there's some kind of profiteering going on at that point, right? I mean, there has to be. You know, it's just not. It's not feasible for that to be, for someone to not be walking away with a little bit of money on that one. So, you know, if it were a labor of love, it'd be a different thing. If it were, you know, Mojang's pretty open about a lot of things. So to have them come to you and go, nope, is a, you know, something was up there. Now, that being said, it might have been the fact that they were already in talks with Warner Brothers, and they saw this come up and they're like, ooh, wait a minute. We can't have this. We can't have this going on. We're already in talks with somebody else, and they're going to, usually when you do talks like that, they, you know, they want exclusive license to things, you know what I mean? So you can't have fans going off and doing this stuff for money, and then go and sign an exclusive agreement with a major publisher like that. So that's a thing. Also, they released some statistics on a number of registered users for Minecraft. 100 million registered users on the free accounts. Which I guess is the ones on the actual Mojang site. And of those, there's a 14.3% have converted to paid accounts, which, if I did my math correctly, is 14.3 million. So literally, you've got 100 million people potentially playing Minecraft, and only 14.3 million have actually paid for it. And I'm sure of those 14.3 million, a lot of those are duplicate. You know, people have paid for them twice. You know, 2 accounts, 3 accounts, that kind of thing. That's it's an interesting number. I mean, 14.3 million is nothing to sneeze at, but it's also it's a bit rough that there's a lot of people that just said, nope. You know, I'm gonna play this game for, you know, hours and hours and never bother to pay for it. But then again, I'm making a big assumption there. I'm making a wild assumption, because it might be that they downloaded the game to see what it'd be like, and then they said, nope, this is not fun for me, and never picked it up again. So I can't prejudge. But yeah, those are the numbers that they released. So now let's catch up a little bit on the Kickstarter stuff. I have a bunch of updates actually from things that I followed on Kickstarter, but it looks like I'm going to have to. I'm getting close to the 50-minute mark here, and I want to kind of end this at 50 minutes. So I'm going to just pick off the very quick updates here, and then we'll have to leave the rest for next week. But the really quick updates: Wing Commander Music, orchestral music project on Kickstarter by George Eldzy, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, did the music for Wing Commander 3 and 4. He's up to $10,440 on that Kickstarter out of the $35,000 that he needs, and there's 20 days left. So if you are a big fan of Wing Commander as me, you probably want to go take a look at that. Galactic Princess is has surpassed their goal, and Starcrawlers also surpassed their goal. But they are still continuing, so you might want to keep on donating if you can. But I think I'm going to end it here. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next week.